Welcome to Earthly Reads, a My Cup of Earth production. Inside a time machine, Lily had always been fascinated by the concept of time travel. She spent hours poring over books on the subject, imagining what it would be like to visit different eras and meet people from the past. So, when her grandfather, a brilliant inventor, revealed to her that he had built a time machine, Lily was over the moon. The time machine, which Grandpa had named the Chrono Car, was a strange-looking contraption with flashing lights, whirring gears, and a control panel that looked like a cross between a video game and a spaceship dashboard. Grandpa explained that it was powered by a special crystal that he had discovered on one of his many adventures around the world. As Lily gazed in wonder at the Chrono Car, Grandpa handed her a special headset that would allow her to communicate with him during their journey. "Are you ready to travel through time, Lily?" he asked, his eyes twinkling with excitement. Lily nodded eagerly, and Grandpa set the controls for ancient Egypt. With a loud whir, the Chrono Car began to glow, and the air around them seemed to shimmer and distort. Lily felt a strange sensation, like her stomach was dropping on a roller coaster. And then, they were there. The sun beat down on them, and Lily squinted at the bright desert light. She looked around, taking in the bustling streets of ancient Thebes. People in loincloths and headdresses hurried past them, carrying baskets and bundles. Grandpa smiled, leading Lily through the crowds. As they walked, they came across a group of young apprentices working on a magnificent stone statue. Lily gasped in amazement at the intricate details and colors. Grandpa explained that this was the famous temple of Karnak, and that the apprentices were working on a new statue of the god Amun. Suddenly, a dignified-looking priest approached them. "Greetings, travelers," he said, his eyes narrowing slightly. "What brings you to our city?" Grandpa introduced himself and Lily, explaining that they were from a far-off land and had come to learn about the ancient ways. The priest, whose name was Ani, welcomed them warmly and invited them to join him on a tour of the city. As they walked, Ani told them stories of pharaohs and gods, of battles and triumphs. Lily was captivated by the rich history and culture of ancient Egypt. She asked Ani countless questions, and he answered patiently, sharing his knowledge with a passion that was infectious. After a few hours of exploring, Ani invited them to join him for a meal at the palace. Grandpa and Lily accepted, and they were treated to a feast of roasted meats, fresh vegetables, and sweet pastries. Lily giggled with delight at the antics of the palace servants, who were playing a lively game of senet. As the sun began to set, Ani led them to the palace gardens, where a beautiful lotus flower bloomed in the center of a tranquil pool. Grandpa took Lily's hand, and they sat down on a bench, watching the stars begin to twinkle in the night sky. "This has been the most amazing day, Grandpa," Lily said, her eyes shining with excitement. Grandpa smiled, his eyes twinkling. "I'm glad you're enjoying it, kiddo, but we have to get back to our own time soon. Are you ready to return to the Chrono Car?" Lily nodded, feeling a pang of sadness at leaving this magical world behind. Grandpa set the controls for their next destination, and they said goodbye to Ani and the palace. As they traveled through time, they visited the Wild West, where they met a rugged cowboy named Jesse who taught them how to lasso a steer. They visited ancient Greece, where they watched a play by the famous playwright Sophocles. They even visited the moon, where they met a group of astronauts who were conducting a spacewalk. Each destination was more incredible than the last, and Lily's imagination was bursting with the wonders she had seen. But as the days passed, she began to miss her own time, her own family and friends. "Grandpa, can we go home now?" she asked, her voice tinged with a hint of sadness. Grandpa nodded, his eyes sympathetic. "It's time to return to our own time. Kiddo. But don't worry. We'll come back and visit all these amazing places again someday. With a final whir of the chrono car, they returned to their own time. Lily felt a strange sensation, like her stomach was dropping on a roller coaster again. And then, they were back in the present. Lily looked around, taking in the familiar sights and sounds of her own world. She turned to Grandpa, her eyes shining with excitement. That was the most incredible adventure. Grandpa, thank you for showing me all those amazing places. Grandpa smiled, his eyes twinkling. I'm glad you enjoyed it, kiddo. And who knows? Maybe one day you'll invent your own time machine and have even more amazing adventures. Lily grinned, feeling a sense of wonder and excitement at the possibilities. She knew that she would never forget this incredible journey through time. And she couldn't wait to see where her own imagination would take her next. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.